Flashlights on.
Oh, thanks.
He gets that a lot. All right, well, welcome to this beautiful foggy Aptos morning.
If we can give me just a second.
Yes, we can.
Very slow. We have started the live. Oh, we're redirecting to YouTube.
You take as much time as you need.
Recording and then we'll begin again.
We'll officially call our library JPA board meeting to order at 9:02 on Thursday, September 4th. Can we have a roll call?
Yes, we have Matt Husker,
Present?
Molly Legault. Here. Jamie Goldstein.
Here.
Nicole Colbert. Here.
All right, very good. Do we have any additions or deletions to the agenda? No. Okay, moving on to public comment. This is an opportunity for any member of the public or community to comment on any item on the consent calendar or any item not on today's regular agenda. Do we have any public comments in the room today? Yes, welcome.
Hi. Might people give out packets or
Materials?
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
You want me to pack them around?
And to clarify, Matt, we're starting with LFFA.
Correct, LFFA, excuse me. Yeah, please.
Okay, my name is Stephanie Auld. I'm a commissioner from In-Home Supportive Services, IHSS. And if you're not familiar with IHSS is currently the government's answer to our silver tsunami, right? Which I'm sure you've all heard of. So we're currently, per the Board of Supervisors, we're currently at a 25% senior population, which is significant growth, right? Very rapid growth. And the stats that we expected were we wouldn't be at 25% for another 5 more years. So this is significant. I came today to really thank you all for the support that you provide to our community. Essentially, you're providing the infrastructure that makes IHSS work. So what that means is for when a person becomes a recipient at IHSS, and we support low income seniors and disabled, which means that you make between $1,300 to $1,700 at a max per month. And you qualify for Medi-Cal to be able to receive IHSS. So when you become a recipient of IHSS, you become a recruiter, you become a trainer, you become a supervisor, you become a manager, and yet we provide no training to do that. So I have a friend who's a retired doctor, and he for decades had his own clinic. And when I told him that, he said, I don't think I can do that. And yet we're requiring seniors and disabled who probably didn't have either one of those positions as a job before to all of a sudden be able to do that. What that means is as a recruiter, you have to find your own care provider. You have to interview, you have to vet, you have to hire. And so what I want to do really is whoever's doing your hiring for your librarians is amazing. And so I would like us to be able to clone your librarians like Mary and Cammie and Gina and Shane at the Capitola Library. That is like my home office. And they provide technical support as well as you providing the PCs and the printers and the printing. You give us 30 pages a day to print. And what that allows is when a person becomes a recipient, the public authority sends you a list of prospective care providers. Well, how are you going to get that list if you don't have email? Right? If you don't have a place where you can print your email and get that list. And then also you need to be able to respond, right? So you have to have the ability to communicate. So the library is providing infrastructure that supports our IHSS recipients by giving them the computer and printing access, but you're also IHSS also is made up of low-income workers, right? So you are providing our workers, our prospective care providers, an opportunity to receive the postings that our recipients are able to put out. And as well as, create resumes, complete applications, as well as the orientations that IHSS requires them to do before they can become care providers. You allow the library facilitates also via tech support that your librarians provide to, all seniors, right? Yesterday I was at the Capitola branch and Mary actually sat down, the manager Mary actually sat down next to a senior and advised her where she could get medical information as well as how to use some of the software. So, I came to say thank you for that because IHSS wouldn't work if we didn't have the infrastructure that you provide. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments.
All right.
My family spends a lot of time at the Capitola Library as well, so I appreciate this kind of library. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other public comments in the room, please?
My name is Ken Bear. I'm here as the representative from SEIU 521. I'm the president. I came to the meeting back in June to address you about safety concerns that staff were having. There's been some progress made and we're looking to you to continue that process to make the library safer. And also to consider this, that you recently won a restraining order against the patron. However, the employee that has to testify and meet with the library or with the attorney was not compensated for their time. So adding insult to injury, and we'd like to have that corrected.
Okay, thank you for those comments. Do we have any comments online?
No, we're just not.
Okay. All right, we're moving on to the library director's report, item 5.
So just a few things from the LFFA director's report. If you have a few minutes after this meeting and you walk out behind this branch, you see a new painted children's walk that was very popular during the summer reading that was created by a local artist with support from the local Friends chapter. We are happy to announce that the Capitola solar project is moving forward, and I won't steal Sarah's thunder on that, so as much as I'm going to say. Also, the generator for headquarters in downtown Santa Cruz is up and running and tested, and that allows us to start moving our servers from the downtown library to the headquarters building, which is also great. And then I also just want to say thank you to the board and everyone for helping support that successful groundbreaking we had in Santa Cruz a few weeks ago. That's my report.
All right, very good. Any questions or comments from the board? We take public comment on director's reports? No. Okay. I'm often guilty of skipping over public comments, so be careful on that. All right, moving forward to the consent calendar. We have 3 items. Are there any questions or comments from the board on the consent agenda?
Consent.
Second.
Okay, very good. Can we have roll call? Do we need one? Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so moved. We don't have any general business items today, correct? And I'll just note we have scheduled upcoming meetings noted on the agenda. And we'll go ahead and adjourn. Yes, sir.
Just on board member comments.
Yes, board member comments. Go ahead.
So this is something I brought up in the past and controller or treasurer. Sorry if I'm cold here, folks. If you didn't hear, I cold shower this morning, so
I was running warm.
yeah, that's why I'm sort of bundled up here. But I have wondered in the past if, frankly, just for sort of administrative ease, if we couldn't consolidate the 2 JPA meetings into one. It's been something we've talked about in the past. It seems, I know the board of supervisors will meet as the board of supervisors, and then it's just one agenda and you list out different sort of special districts that they represent on the agenda. I wonder if that's not an option. Not trying to create more administrative work, trying to actually reduce it. I think it also maybe makes it a little bit easier for members of the public to understand when they get a comment, whether they're talking to the LFFA or the JPA board, so just something to look at. I know I brought that up with our last treasurer. She really wanted to have an agenda for it, but you don't have to.
You're speaking for me, okay.
Yeah,
I
well,
think,
you don't have to answer right now.
In general.
Yeah. you
I
can-
would say the only thing that I would be concerned about, and Nicole's been here longer, so she might know better, but usually I would only stay for the LFFA because that's the only piece that I would have responsibility over. So as long as there's some clear delineation of when I should leave, that's
Yeah.
fine with me, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's any legal reason to.
Yeah, I mean, we could designate it, how we do it for the board of supervisors is it's just designated when they're acting in another board's capacity.
Mhm.
It's noted as part of the agenda item, and we can provide examples, but I would think we could probably front load LFFA items
Yeah.
so that you could leave.
Not that I don't.
Yeah.
appreciate all the other work.
That's question is there, yes.
Yeah, I don't see any objection to that from my perspective.
Yeah, we don't need an answer right now. I just tossing it out there because it's producing two packets, it's convening, unconvening. Frankly, I think it looks probably Byzantine to people who aren't familiar with this and are sitting in the audience. So
Something we can work on offline. Yeah, I think there's merit to it.
that was my comment.
Thank you for the comment. Any other comments from board members? Okay, we'll go ahead and adjourn the LFFA meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time this morning. And we'll go ahead and call to order the library JPA board meeting at 9:13 on September 4th. We have a roll call. Present.
Molly LaBelle, here, Jamie Goldstein,
Here,
Nicole Coburn.
Here,
Okay, do we have any additional materials?
No.
Any additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, moving on to public comment. This is the opportunity for any member of the public or the community to comment on any item on the consent calendar or any item not on today's agenda. Do we have any public comment in the room?
My comment would
Please.
be, I agree with Jamie here about the confusion.
Okay,
And it'd be much easier to have one meeting than for me to sit here for, half an hour instead of 2 15-minute sessions.
very good, Jamie. You have some support in the room. So noted. So noted for the record. Do we have any comments online? Okay. Moving on to the library director's report.
So I've submitted the written report in the packet. I just want to call out a few things. One, which is a really good one, summer reading was up 9.5% this year over last year, and the two largest growing demographics were adults and teens by double digits. So that's a really nice change for this year. We'll have a fuller report on summer reading at a future meeting. I also just want to point out the Library Advisory Commission had a robust conversation and endorsed a new drag storytime proposal for Brett's of 40 Library that we'll be moving forward with. And then finally, and really importantly, this month, we have started our strategic planning surveys. And I know a number of you have helped with your jurisdiction's newsletters to get the word out. We launched that survey on the 1st. We already have well over 200 responses for the community surveys. We sent out stakeholder surveys to various community partners and kind of aligned nonprofits starting yesterday. So we'll be spending September getting those survey results, and then we are lining up focus groups for the second full week of October. We paid for 8 focus groups, they're giving us 10, which is a nice thing. We're identifying various community demographic groups to sit in those as well. So I think that's the stuff I want to highlight from my report. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any comments or questions from the board?
have we been pushing out the information about the survey in our digital newsletters in Capitola?
We have been in touch with your person in Capitol,
Right.
so it should be going out. Yeah. And Scotts Valley was very gracious. We had a bad link and they sent it out again. Thank you, Molly. And then the city and the county. It's
Okay,
great.
very good. That was my question, so. Okay, moving on to a report by the Friends of the Santa Cruz Public Libraries. Welcome.
I have just a few numbers to share over the last couple of months. I want to, of course, point out the amazing work that was done in summer reading. The Friends were very proud. August 8th, we delivered a check for $89,500 for literacy fund programming for FY26. So we absolutely love hearing all the great reports of the work being done on literacy related programming, and we are so happy to be able to support that. We also have some numbers around our just post the groundbreaking again for the Downtown Public Library. Our capital campaign is moving forward really beautifully. We are still getting match funding from the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. So now we've crossed the 2.1 million mark towards 3 million. We've got, with that match, only about 600,000. I say 1 million. It'll still be work, but so we're really on track right now, and we're in a good place to meet our match at the end of November this year and begin the second half of the match that'll go through the end of November next year. So that's wonderful. We also are going to be, I believe by tomorrow morning, I will be delivering another number, $431,427 for the Capitola Branch Library Solar Energy Project, which the Capitola Friends are clearly very excited to be finally delivering after much work and fundraising for that project. And I believe that finishes the sort of branch capital project slate until, we get through the downtown, and then hopefully, we're out of the business of capital projects eventually, which is good. So anyway, the Friends are also very much in support of the strategic planning process, trying to share some incentives as well as get out in the community and incentivize folks to answer those surveys. We're also beginning our own strategic planning process next week as well, so that we can remain aligned and publish the same 3-year, a plan for the same 3 years. So that's my report.
Excellent. A lot of positive news there. Appreciate that update, Sarah. Any comments from the board?
I just want to thank the Friends and the Capitola Friends in particular for all the work that they've done to help move forward the Capitola Solar Project. And I want to acknowledge the support from the County Santa Cruz, who is project managing that project, which I know was no easy task to find the resources to do that. So appreciation here and appreciation there. Thank you all for helping.
Thank you to the county as well.
Yeah.
They've been great to go through.
I want to echo Jamie's comments as well, and also thank you, Sarah, for your leadership, setting a goal of $3 million as a capital campaign goal, very ambitious goal for supporting the downtown main branch and the kind of final branch of our larger capital outlay. So thank you for that. $600,000 is also a large number, and I know how much effort is going into that work behind the scenes. So thank you for that. Okay. Moving on to item 7, report by Library Advisory Commission. Do we have a report?
We do not, it is not here.
Okay. We'll move along to the consent calendar. Are there any comments or questions from the board on the consent calendar? Okay.
Second.
Before we vote, I just want to note the workplace safety report. I do appreciate the concerns that were raised by a CIU and appreciate Director Plow for including information for the board to help highlight attention to this important issue. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that comment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So moved. Okay, moving on to our general business items. We will kick it off with the website migration project update.
Yeah, this is just a very brief update. There's no visual for you here other than what's in the packet. I just want to give you an update. We've been working on this process over the summer, and we've got 4 modules of the new website package launched. Those are pretty important ones. The calendar of events, the ability to reserve a community room or a meeting room, ability to book time with the librarian, and then the digital signage that you see in the branches around the county. Those are all the new modules that are launched. What we're particularly excited about with the calendar of events is it allows for a customized brochure. So if you're a parent who only wants story times, or if you're a senior who only wants to get together for certain types of programs, you can create a calendar brochure for yourself and print it out or email it to yourself or what have you. We're going to push this pretty hard over the next few months and see if that will balance out the work that we do in generating the print brochures that we've traditionally done, and which mostly get tossed in recycling at the end of every month. So we'll see how that works. We are actively working on the next two big things, which are the app, which I have the thing installed on my phone already. There are still some stuff they're working through on how it searches and the search results and what have you, but it is very intuitive and very nice. And once this is up and running, we can launch Book a Study Room, which we know will go through the roof because those are one of our most popular offerings in terms of meeting spaces, and people will be able to book it on their phone. So that will come near the end of September, and then the frame of the website will migrate in October, and that will be largely the big work done for the website migration. There'll be a couple little pieces coming beyond that. And then I just also want to use this opportunity to shout out to Carlos Silva and Jennifer Young, who are leading this project, and the many Santa Cruz staff members around the system who are testing this stuff every day and surfacing little things that even the IT group are not finding. So yeah, that's my report on the website migration.
All right, any comments or questions from the board?
I'm looking at the little screenshot of the app, and will it let you both search sort of actual physical books and that's cool. So it's
All
kind
of
of
our digital, yeah.
all of it, so you don't have to have like 4 different apps.
You
and
don't have to have 4 different apps. It'll have the Overdrive Libby stuff. It'll have the Hoopla stuff. It'll have our regular catalog. That's one of the features that we attracted us to that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Yeah, that's been sort of a weakness for, I don't even know, I feel like 15 years.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, the digital stuff was out there, but it was like, you had to go somewhere else and download some third parties technology and things like that. That's really neat. Is there any AI built in, like ask a librarian a question or ask about, you know, suggest a book or?
Yeah, that's not going to be AI. There'll be a process for it. It mimics a process that we have today. There is AI in here in terms of the really basic AI we're all already familiar with. Like if you're trying to spell teacher and you spell it wrong, it may correct it for you or do the opposite. But no, there's nothing really super AI baked into this, at least at this point. You have to be very careful around, especially with the public facing.
Yeah, for sure. You would,
Yeah,
I guess suggest a book is maybe something we want to.
yeah, that's one of they're actually building that out custom for us because there's not a lot of their own place.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just say, it's great to see that we're finally bringing the digital experience to the same standard that our community members experience when they come into our world-class facilities. Similar to Jamie using the multiple apps in kind of a somewhat antiquated way. Over the last several years, having a more comprehensive experience, I think will be welcomed. So I just appreciate that work.
It is interesting for those of us who remember antiquated as 4 different devices. Now we're like, oh, it's 4 different
apps.
Gosh, but
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. The world is new and the world is evolving. That's what we should do.
Yeah, that's great. Do we have any public comment on this item? Okay, do you need action from us or are we just accepting this filing?
Accept and file.
Okay. Moving on to item B, decision on cost benefit analysis for the library administrative services.
This one I do need action on. You will recognize this. We brought this to the board on December 9th of last year to discuss the different scenarios that the matrix group and the subcommittees had worked on in terms of supporting the administrative services that the city of Santa Cruz provides to the JPA. In that discussion, we had kind of verbally landed on scenario 4B, which is a methodology that includes the revisions that you guys had contributed information on during the course of that. And then, you know, I feel it pretty strongly that we need to bolster some of the HR resources that they are working overtime for us for the last few months, and they really need that resource, I think. This one isn't a very big jump over the baseline scenario 1. It's only about $50,000 more, at least in today's numbers. So I would argue on behalf of the library that would be that would be a good outcome. And I'm going to stop there. Let you guys take over the conversation.
Comments or questions from the board?
I do have so because this study was based on old numbers, I'm just curious, going forward, are they gonna be updated? So we're approving
Mhm.
the scenario here and the methodology, but when we're talking about budgeting for, at this point, 26, 27, I assume it'll be based on whatever the current cost plan costs are.
Actuals, yeah.
And
Yes.
do we have a sense of how that might grow over what was done previously or not?
It will grow.
Yeah.
It will most certainly grow. For example, we're in negotiations with, all of our labor groups as we speak, and that will certainly have influence over those numbers going forward, along with, formula adjustments that also account for, CPI and other indexes. So I guess the question would be though, going forward, how are we accounting for that here? Because we will be building increases into our budget for FY 27.
And there is, you might, just to bring your memories back to the earlier conversation in this, and it's on page 84 of the packet, we did build into the proposal that the agreement should reflect that if there is a greater than 10% increase in overall cost in the annually updated cap, that we would bring that forward. So that
For board approval.
for board approval.
So we recently entered a new JPA that we just approved in my last city council meeting for the library financing authority that lays out a framework about how the library fund and city of Santa Cruz contribute. And my memory serves, we picked a base amount, we had a 3-year phase in to get the sort of the same per capita contribution. And then it was a fixed 3.5% increase kind of baked into, I believe it was a 7-year deal.
That's correct.
So I guess I'm wondering, I think if I was the city of Santa Cruz, I don't know that I would be comfortable laying down a 7-year deal that says it's gonna be 3.5% increase in the cap, 7 years, because obviously things change. But I'm wondering if that sort of level of certainty, rather than having kind of this floating number that's outside of this board's control, given we have sort of fixed the inputs, if that's not an option.
Yeah, I think it's something we can work through. I don't know that we're gonna land on a final decision as we approve this scenario today, but, one of the challenges we had with our cost allocation methodology was that we had applied just a flat CPI in terms of how the city of Santa Cruz is managing theirs, and what happens is over time, it's not keeping up with actual changes in costs. So, and at the same time, I also understand wanting to have some level of certainty around what that number is gonna be forward and forward. So landing on something that feels fair and transparent, I think is something that we can work through. It sounds like right now there's a condition that already at least sets a ceiling to it, bringing it back for board consideration, if that's how I understand it.
Well, that looks like here, you're gonna have to bring the services agreement back to us, so maybe between now and when that agreement is finalized, Christopher and the city can work out
Iron that out.
the details.
I would suggest within the spirit of all that 10% is, I think, kind of a high ceiling.
Okay.
For board consideration, so perhaps we said it's something less than that, in addition to thinking through what we might agree upon in terms of some type of flat escalator over the term of the agreement.
And then what about a phase in? Because, I know we had a 3-year phase in for the city of Santa Cruz to bring you up to kind of level, the capital level. I think right now, we're at about 600K, the service contract in this year's fiscal.
605.
So would we jump in fiscal, would this be 26, 27, just straight to the 980, or would we want to phase in over a period of 2-3 years?
Well, I think the objection I would have to phasing it in is, I think there's an argument that we've been subsidizing the total administrative cost over the years. And so this is an opportunity for us to catch up, and the cost for delivering those services are what they are. So my preference would be to try to make that correction as quickly as we can.
Other board members have thoughts. I mean, I think that argument cuts both ways, obviously. You know, with the funding into the system as well. I understand, I can get that, I guess, in some ways, going to this number. Kind of defeats in some ways the purpose of the phase-in on the funding in, if you will, because I think the city of Santa Cruz's net contribution to the library, net, both of these would actually go down. Which feels like kind of not in the spirit of what we're trying to do. With the overall, like helping sort of you guys manage your budget.
Since we're in year one of the phase-in already, maybe it's, I mean, if we were to envision a phase-in, maybe it's just the next 2 years.
Two step it.
Yeah, if you step it and then try to get, then you're at the rate.
Right.
If we, maybe we could look at that as one of the options.
Yeah, I think a 2-year phase-in would be more reasonable.
Yeah.
Be open to that.
And then that gets both of those sort of right sized, if you will. Same, the same
Pace.
fiscal,
Mhm.
I can live with that.
Okay. How do you feel, Molly? Thoughts on that?
I think that seems like a reasonable compromise. I appreciate everybody thinking through that. I would just. Director Platt, could you just explain a little bit about the original packet? Had a recommendation of scenario 1.
Yeah.
And then the revised staff letter. Has a recommendation of 4B. So.
Yeah.
Could you just maybe explain a little bit of staff's thinking there?
Sure, so, we brought scenario 1 to the December 9th meeting as kind of a baseline conversation. You know, for want of a better way to describe it, it was the cheapest.
Right.
And that might be a good starting point for the conversation. You know, at various points during this process, I've argued that we need a little bit more HR's support from the city and talked with the head of HR there and what scenarios are. That's why there are 2 scenarios in here that considered that proposal, and one was just, you know, directly as an additional resource paid by us directly, I hire an additional person or 2 versus applying it through the cap. You know, HR is probably our most active partner in any given day, as you guys would know. We are on the phone or in email with the city of Santa Cruz HR all day long, every day. So we really rely on them to be a really good partner, and you know, it's hard when somebody falls behind, someone takes vacation, things pile up pretty quickly, and it impacts our ability to, you know, expand services or even keep our mobile running or all these other things that we're doing. And so we really just want to make sure that there's a resource there that help us deliver the services and programs that were agreed. And they're an incredible.
So can you remind me that $50,000 extra that we would be paid, is that would be a quarter of an additional person, or what exactly are we getting for that?
Scenario. Sorry.
Just as additional HR resources allocated through the cap. But this is in addition to the cap. Right?
Right. I'm sorry, I had that.
I know, I feel like it was in an older thing that we reviewed.
Yeah,
which
I
is
just
here.
don't remember now.
I have a
Original matrix reported somewhere.
I feel like Sarah was suggesting she was kind of plan a scheme, or had scheme to bring on a couple more analysts, I think, within HR to support the overall city, and so this was supporting a higher service level out of HR.
Right.
Yeah,
That's my memory.
that is exactly what it
Yeah,
was.
broadly speaking.
And sorry, I don't have it directly.
Okay.
It's here.
I would just comment too, from a city of Santa Cruz perspective, I'm somewhat agnostic on it. I think it's an opportunity for an increased level of service for the library system as a whole, but you know, there's trade-offs to that as we look at costs, so.
I just am curious how it will be, I guess, sort of tracked and billed to make sure it doesn't just sort of get lost in
Absorbed and
the,
lost in the understanding.
yeah.
Imagine it's probably like a certain number of, if we're paying for part of a person, a certain number of
Hours, yeah.
Right,
per month.
above
or-
the cap.
Yeah, above the cap. There's probably a way to track that so that we're not getting overbilled.
Right. And it really was using, I found on page 116, using a baseline cost for HR and LS2, and then factoring that against the percentage of support that they provide to the LJPA, which is 12.4% from the study. But we can build that in.
Other questions or comments?
What is the, I'm sorry, go ahead. I should say, what's the term we're talking about for this agreement?
25 years.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question, is thinking about the term and then also thinking about the way the cap was derived, going back and thinking about the matrix study. You know, a lot of the assumptions built in there were based on kind of the workload around the status quo. And, you know, if in the term, maybe there's like an inflator built in, and not to exceed, a 2-year phase in, and then there's maybe a commitment so that, you know, whether it's all us at the table or somebody else at the table in 5 years, it's like, we're gonna do an abridged version of what we did. I don't know that we want to do exactly what we did again. That was a little bit challenging, expensive,
Mhm.
time consuming, but looking at, you know, kind of what the actual HR demands are out of the library, what the financial. Like put a trigger in there that says, hey, we're gonna go back to the numbers in 5 or something.
Well, and I think, I appreciate Nicole's comment too, because I think we could also continue to be more intentional around how we're tracking that.
Yeah.
So that we have a more, a clearer picture outside of applying some methodology to it, right? Which is, you know, pretty typical of a cost allocation model. But also having a good sense of, on an actual basis to, you know, to Christopher's point, how many hours on the daily is our HR team, as well as our finance department and others that are also at times providing support, ensuring that we're tracking that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I could see ebbs and flows in their demands. I mean, our cost plan swings up and
Yeah.
down for departments all the time.
Right,
If he has stable staffing, he doesn't have as many needs, it may drop 1 year.
sure.
Or if something else happens where there's less demand. But I think a 5-year term might be good to revisit it after 5 years. Cause I don't wanna cut you short either.
Sure. How have we done this in the past? Have we done it in the form of an agreement, or are we doing it just as part of budget approvals on an annual basis?
We had a services
We had a
agreement,
services agreement,
Yeah.
yeah,
which I think needs to get updated.
yeah,
but I think back in the day, I think it was based on a very
Oh, it was-
complex formula, which was something like, it was 6% of the total library budget.
Yeah.
It was like,
uh,
reverse. It was
interesting.
and so.
Yeah, that was very strange.
It was just kind of an overhead percentage based on total
Yeah.
operations.
Yeah, and then I remember, this is about before my time, but back in the day, when the sales tax passed for the library, the budget for the library doubled, and contract,
Mm.
it's just, it was just. I heard a fair.
Well, I like that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I think we've come a long way, obviously, with this, but I think being deliberate about it and saying, you know, hey, 5 years, we're gonna look at it again, and having Steve Sanders think a little bit more about kind of. Cause I think in the past, I mean, going back really historically, I think internally at the city of Santa Cruz, it was thought of as more just another department.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a separate JPA, which in fact we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we treat it today, really, for all intents and purposes. But yeah, I think a 5-year term going forward, you know, for benefit of consistency for both parties, you know, makes sense to me. But today we're just approving moving forward with that scenario, correct?
Right.
And then we would need to offline kind of iron out the mechanics of the agreement. correct?
Right, so the second part of the motion is you're directing the LJPA staff to work with your team,
Okay,
Elizabeth and whoever else.
Do you want additional direction regarding the conceptual terms of the agreement so that it's clear?
Sure.
Okay, well, I would move the recommended actions with, trying to come up with a 5-year term for the services agreement and a 2-year phase-in, plus some percentage increase that the city of Santa Cruz and the library might be comfortable with for the remaining 3 years.
Is it a fixed percentage or are we gonna?
Fixed or
Fixed
capped or-
percentage or cap?
yeah, that works.
A second that.
Did you capture all that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for that thoughtful discussion around it. We do. But appreciate talking through that. I know these things are always a little tricky to land, on something that feels both fair and transparent, so appreciate those comments. Roll call, or, yes, public comment. I always-
Yeah.
We're all over the place, it's okay.
Okay.
Anyone online? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Okay, so moved. Any comments by board members? Okay. I'll just comment that we were thrilled to have the groundbreaking for the downtown library and affordable housing project. They're making very fast progress on the project, and look forward to bringing future updates as it moves along. So more to come on that.
Congratulations.
yeah.
Very big milestone. And anyone that wants to contribute to the capital campaign, please talk to Sarah.
Everyone who already has.
We're excited about that 3 million goal, but we'd also love to surpass it, so, more to come on all of that. Okay, moving on to scheduled, upcoming meetings, I'll just note that, we will be meeting in Santa Cruz, on November 6th at 9 AM. And that's all we have for today. Go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
You guys.
Awesome.